Hey everybody, this video is going to, hold on Hamilton, cover the colonial period, if I can get my dog to be a good boy. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so slave trade is a big part of colonial America. You can see ships coming from England. They had manufactured goods, beads, clothing, weapons, and they would go to Africa. From there they would trade, unfortunately, for people. Okay, and then many of those people, enslaved African Americans, would head to the Caribbean islands and from there to North America. From North America, oftentimes we would send rum, molasses to the Caribbean, to Africa, so it wasn't always completely a triangle. The slave trade itself, known as the Middle Passage, was cruel and inhuman. They had millions of people. In fact, they said about 10 million people, enslaved people, had to make this trip. Could you guys talk about African Americans fighting for civil rights and the Civil War and coming all the way back to this time period? That would be great. You could write a 4 or 5 on an essay. Okay, another big part of the colonial period is mercantilism. Remember, guys, mercantilism is when the mother country benefited from the colonies. Remember, we are the colonies. We are not connected to England, thus they are colonizing another part of the world. They are taking our raw materials, turning them into finished goods, and selling them back to the colonists. Of course, other parts of the world as well. It was their benefit.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah. I can't stop.
So under these rules of mercantilism, we are not supposed to trade with other countries. However, we did, especially if you go and look back at that triangular trade map. The king knew we were doing this. However, we were part of England. So in this instance, England looked the other way. This allowed us to establish some independent business practices. So, it's just like your parents. If they don't enforce the rules, do you have to follow them? And this is what England was doing to the colonists, kind of teaching us to be independent. Okay, the Albany Plan of Union, 1754, was proposed by Ben Franklin. The colonies suddenly found themselves surrounded on the west by the French and the Native Americans. The colonies said no to the proposal. They wanted to remain separate entities. All right, everybody, the next topic that we talk about is going to be the French and Indian War. Don't forget, the most important part about this war is that it's a dispute over the Ohio River Valley, okay? And the Ohio River Valley, just west of the Appalachian Mountains, is really going to start to push us towards this thing called the Revolutionary War. Okay, if you guys look on the map, you can see where the Ohio River Valley is located on the left. That was a disputed territory. After the British and the colonists, because remember, we're still one, win the French and Indian War, the British established the Line of Proclamation in 1763. Okay, so there's the Appalachian Mountains. You guys, if you watched my geography review video, you saw this map. The Appalachian Mountains extend from New York down into Atlanta. Now, the point of this was the British didn't want to protect our citizens from pushing across the Line of Proclamation in 1763. We did anyways. However, to pay for the soldiers that they're going to keep there, to pay for the war, the French and Indian War, the British are going to start to, charge us taxes. But they weren't doing that to the citizens at home. Okay, what do you guys think about my new hat? Anyways, that was the colonial period, you guys. Triangular trade, British mercantilism, salutary neglect, Albany Plan of Union, 1754, and of course the French and Indian War. Don't forget, the colonial period is when we are still a part of England. We have not broken away yet. Very important for you guys to remember. Okay, you guys, get studying.